Solve the equation 18 equals negative 6 times the quantity 1 minus k. So when asked to solve an equation, the goal is to get the variable completely isolated or alone on one side of the equal sign. In this case, our variable k is inside a set of parentheses and being multiplied by a number on the outside. Because it is just that product, it's just that multiplication, we actually have two different methods or ways to solve this equation. The first is to use and take advantage of the distributive property. We can distribute negative 6 to 1 and to the negative k inside the parentheses. We can multiply by that negative 6. That will give us 18 equals negative 6 plus 6k. We can then use our inverse operations to isolate k. It's being multiplied by 6 and subtracted by 6. So first we'll undo that subtracting 6 by adding 6 on both sides of the equal sign. So 18 plus 6 gives us 24. And then we've undone that subtraction, leaving us with 6k. It's 6 times k. So now to undo that multiplication, we'll divide by 6 on both sides, leaving us with 4 equals now just k, or if we switch sides of the equal sign, k equals 4. That would be our solution, and we solved it with our first step being the distributive property. But you might have said, well, if it's negative 6 times a quantity 1 minus k, the opposite or inverse of multiplication would be to use division. So some people might look at this equation and divide by negative 6 as the first step, which is completely fine. We should still get the same thing. So if we divide both sides by negative 6, that will undo that multiplying by negative 6 and give us negative 3 equals 1 minus k. So now we'll use our inverse operations to get the variable isolated. So first we'll subtract 1 from both sides, giving us negative 4. Now be careful, it's a little tricky here that when you're subtracting the 1, you're actually left with negative k. You have to bring this negative sign down because that's really negative 1 times k. That negative coefficient is multiplying by a negative 1, so now we have to divide by negative 1. So that gives us 4 equals k. Or if we switch the sides, k equals 4, which is exactly what we got before using the distributive property. Either method, the solution is k equals 4, making our answer choice C.